The day I buried my mother, I thought I had already lost everything. The house felt empty, too quiet. After everyone left, I sat alone in her bedroom, surrounded by memories I wasn't ready to face. That's when I opened her old jewelry box. Something felt strange. Underneath the velvet lining, I found a hidden compartment. Inside was a sealed envelope. My hands started shaking as I looked at the name written on the front. It wasn't mine. It said, Emily Carter. I froze. I had never heard that name before. Confused, I searched through the box again. Then I found an old photograph. My mother was smiling. Standing beside her were two little girls. I stared at the picture, trying to understand what I was seeing. One of the girls looked exactly like me. My heart started racing. Then I turned the photograph over. Written on the back, in my mother's handwriting, were 5 words. My daughters. Summer of 1998. Daughters, plural. I couldn't breathe. I was an only child. At least, that's what I had believed my entire life. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. Everything I thought I knew about my family might have been a lie. I must have read those words 100 times. My daughters, summer of 1998. Nothing made sense. I grabbed my phone and called my Aunt Linda. If anyone knew the truth, it was her. The moment I mentioned the name Emily Carter, she went silent. Too silent. Then she asked me a question that made my stomach drop. Who told you about her? No one, I said. Mom did, sort of. There was another long silence. Then she whispered something I never expected to hear. Your mother promised she'd never tell you. I drove to Aunt Linda's house that same night. She looked nervous, almost scared. After a few minutes, tears filled her eyes. There were 2 little girls, she said softly. You and Emily. I felt the room spinning around me. What do you mean? 2 girls. Without saying a word, Aunt Linda opened a drawer and handed me an old newspaper clipping. My hands were shaking as I unfolded it. And then I saw the headline. Local family searches for missing 4-year-old girl. Below the headline was a picture. My picture? And standing right beside me was the same little girl from the photograph. Emily. Suddenly, I realized something terrifying. The article wasn't about strangers. It was about my family. And according to the date on that newspaper clipping, Emily disappeared the same week I stopped remembering my childhood. For the first time in my life, I began to wonder if I had forgotten something I was never supposed to forget. I couldn't sleep that night. The newspaper clipping stayed on my kitchen table, and I couldn't stop staring at it. Emily had disappeared, and somehow, I had forgotten. The next morning, Aunt Linda finally told me the truth she had been hiding for decades. Emily wasn't a cousin. She wasn't a family friend. She was my twin sister. I just sat there in shock. A twin? I could barely say the words out loud. Tears filled Aunt Linda's eyes. Your mother blamed herself for what happened, she said. After Emily disappeared, she was terrified of losing you too. But why didn't she tell me? I asked. Because the doctors believed the trauma had erased your memories. Your mother thought keeping the truth buried would protect you. Protect me. That word stayed in my mind. Later that day, I opened the letter again. This time, I noticed something hidden inside the envelope. A small key. Attached to it was a note written in my mother's handwriting. If you're reading this, Emily has finally been found. Forgive me. I stared at the words in disbelief. Found? How could that be possible? As far as I knew, Emily had been missing for 28 years. Then my phone started ringing. It was an unknown number. I almost ignored it, but something told me to answer. I pressed the button and held the phone to my ear. And then I heard a woman's trembling voice. She said 7 words that changed my life forever. I think I've been looking for you.